You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today's tip comes in the form of a clip from my most recent interview on the Sales Success Stories podcast with Dustin Brown. For the last 2 years running, Dustin has been the top global account executive at Outreach. Here you go.
You know how the show rolls, right? We got to start with some immediate value. Let's talk about the top 3 things that you believe are the things that got you to the top.
Yeah, so I would say for sure focus, consistency, and relationships were the top 3 things that helped to deliver, consecutive great years at Outreach.
Yeah. So let's get into each of those just a little bit. So what is the focus? What does that mean?
Yeah. So I would say, as sellers, we get our account books, we get super excited. Those are our accounts. Those are where all the opportunities are. But I would say probably 10 to 20% of those accounts are your actual targets, the accounts that fit in with your white space, or we call them ideal customer profile. But yet we still spread ourselves so thin trying to go after everything that moves. And from that, we miss out on the opportunities that are percolating at, these top 10, 20 accounts that, we as enterprise or strategic sellers should be focusing on. And so for me, my mentor and friend and leader, Chris Albro, was really big on, hey, I need you to focus. I need you to pick your 5 or 6 accounts, and that's where you're going to go. Did that, and it's been paying dividends. And I've been educating or imparting that on others and saying, hey, just get focused. It's great you have those accounts, have an SDR, work those in the background, but get hyper-focused on just a top few accounts and start building. So long-winded way of saying, hey, just pick some accounts, focus on those, and go build out a repeatable flywheel of revenue.
How often are there accounts that surprise you, right? Does that number of accounts that you're focused on change? Do sometimes things happen in those other accounts where that changes? Or do you have to just say no and go, yeah, I know this other thing is trying to distract me, but that's not where I'm going to get to multiples of my quota?
Yeah, no, that's a great question and a great nuance. I would say be flexible, right? But yeah, for the most part, you're going to have to, trust yourself and just stay focused. And if there's other resources like an SDR, or if you're working account and you have a CSM, maybe you do kind of get something going to where you can pass it off or have somebody manage it while you go attack that new thing. But be very disciplined on that new thing to not let it bring you down a rabbit hole. But you got to be flexible, because if you're reading in the reports or you're getting alerts or what, that, there's some compelling events happening at an account that you didn't realize was even, a profile or whatever, or a customer potential. Yeah, man, you should pivot and, throw a couple emails, have a couple meetings and see where it goes. Right. I mean, because look, a couple of meetings isn't going to, derail you. But if you're chasing a parked car, that's going to derail you. And I think you just got to be smart about that.
For links to connect with Dustin and to this full interview, just click over to DailySales.Tips/1111. Yesterday was 2/22/22, and today you get to listen to tip number 1111. How about that? After you've listened to Dustin's full episode on the Sales Success Stories podcast, be sure to come back here for another great sales tip. Thanks for listening.